Perfect. So, on spot in Japan, yeah, we have our crew making tea at the moment. So we have this like great ambiance right now just to like suit this idealistic event that we can just like go ahead and start.
Amazing.
Hello.
Hello, こんばんは。
Hey,
Oh,
amazing. Yeah. So I think that we already have our guests ready here and then all the people here. So I think we can go ahead and start off with that event. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and turn this around to Alba over here. And I'm just gonna turn the screen share really quick. Whenever you're ready, Alba.
Yes. Well, good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Welcome to the 2024 Global New Year gathering hosted by Sakura Chamit. I see we have guests from Japan, a lot of guests from Japan, Mexico, Spain, US, and Israel. We are thrilled to have each and every one of you here today. Your presence truly makes this event special, as you know, and we are grateful for your time and participation in our New Year intercultural discussion about the culture and international relations. This time we'll put the focus on diplomacy, which directly ties with our purpose. I think from the Japan headquarters, you could talk about our purpose, what we do in Sakura Chamit. So I'm throwing it back to you,
Thanks,
Alicia.
Alba. Oops, sorry. Okay, so thank you for that, Alba. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go over what the purpose of the Sakura Jami as an organization is. So basically, Sakura Jami as an organization is a nonprofit and non-governmental organization based in Japan and then also Washington D.C. And we also have a couple members throughout the countries in Israel, like Iris and then Sid and then Joel, who have just attended this event for us today. So thank you so much for joining us. And then our mission is to spread harmony and then international relations and through the Zen that dictates the meanings behind of what tea it is about. So basically we really care about the meaning of tea and then how tea connects people through souls to soul and then just the culture itself. But just to be clear about it, Sakura Jami is not a really, I would say it's not a really not an organization that is meant to or focuses on the activism of spreading Japanese culture, but more about how we could like make this intercultural experience more rich and then more resourceful. So it is about just, like, spreading tea and then, like, having this Japanese background, but also, like, to get to know about, um, what it is to, like, to be with other people and then out of the country that is not Japan, actually, and then, know about more meanings behind, like, what it's like to connect with together. But, before I go further about it, I just wanted to give a brief background about today's event. So for today's event, it's gonna be more about New Year's welcoming celebration about tea and then just like going drinking tea just to celebrate the new year. And then if you follow like any Chinese or New Year or Japanese New Year system or the culture aspects, it's a year of the dragon. So we have a couple of people who is actually born in the year of dragon, including myself as well. So it's gonna be a great year. And then even if you're not, we're still gonna have a great year as well. So celebrating that through tea also, and then just to share the space and then for the guests to share about their acts and their cultural sharing place and then also about their like actual experience and then their actual backgrounds living in a different country and then like maybe moving to other country and then learning about those aspects. It will be a great way to like get to know about what it's really like to share about your knowledge. And then I'm hoping that we can go ahead and at the after we go through, I guess, informations about it or knowledge about it and what they do, I was hoping we can go ahead and ask or do any like Q&A. And then for the Q&A sections, it's probably going to be me asking all the guests about their informations and then like the backgrounds and then just about the concept of like how to could like connect people all together. And also I will go ahead and ask a couple people over here in Japan as well, because there's lots of people who is also interested in and then has been this interaction community with the Sakurajimi for a little while, or even if they're new. So it'll be a really great opportunity to talk about it and then share our experience or like what they think about tea and then just like sharing this moment together. So yeah, so further notice. Yep. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn it over to Alba and then she's gonna start yeah, introducing all the guests that we have today.
Oh, well, I would like to get to know our guests. I see Joel, we were just talking with you. Can you tell us a bit what brings you here today? What interests you in Sakura to Meet and what we do? Joel, I can't hear you. I don't know if it's a problem from with my side.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Okay. I'm here because of my girlfriend. My girlfriend is a tea sommelier here in Mexico. He was the one who introduced me in the tea culture, and we are also a big fans of Japan, big otakus, Japan otakus. So that's why I'm here to with my girlfriend and to also have a site to what is a tea community in all the world. And I'm really liking the tea because before her, I cannot imagine how vast and how interesting was the tea world, because there are many subtle flavors and fragrance, which here in Mexico we are from a really strong palate. So we like the strong things, strong sauces, strong spicy things. So we like the strong flavors. So here in Mexico, the tea is a little bit difficult to go on. But I have made my way out through this, thanks to her, and that's why I'm here, to help her with the translation.
Oh, nice. Would you say that you have in Mexico that you have a tea culture? I think I know the answer, but do you consider that as a country you have a tea culture?
It's very small, the tea culture, and
Yeah, I know.
the community are small. But as we live close to the city, in the city there is a lot of global facility, or global global diversity, and that's why we are more blessed about we have more of these facilities.
Yeah,
Not that
nowadays,
much.
yeah, as you were saying, nowadays with globalization, tea has
Yes,
become
nowadays
more.
more globalization.
But I think in Hispanic culture, it's not a big thing. Tea has not been a big thing historically, right? I think it was more uh, coffee, right? Hot chocolate here in Spain. So we have different influences than those that were directly touched by the British. But yeah, see nowadays with globalization that Spain has opened itself and accepted other culinary influences. When you live closer to the cities, you see it more. But a proof of that is finding quality matcha readily available at a normal supermarket. and that is a symbol that we have come a long way since the days when the tea was only a delicatessen and a status symbol for the upper class. No? It has been quite a change. So, Sedenla, hello.
Hi, Alba.
Ah, Sed.
Hi, everyone.
Hello again. So Seth joined us at the last meeting that we have. It was some sort of tea. Iris made a tea ceremony from
Mhm.
Israel, and Seth joined us. Hello again. Would you like to tell us something about your tea culture, tea experiences, anything you would like
Mhm.
to share?
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for having me once again. To start with a small introduction where I come from. I come from the northeastern region of India, which used to be a very small country before a kingdom of its own, but now it became a part of India. I think it's been like about 40 to 45 years. And geographically, we are located right in between Bhutan, Tibet in the north, and Nepal in the west. And in the south, we have India. So we are sandwiched. We are a very tiny hamlet sandwiched between these countries. So we have influences from India's way of drinking tea. Well, I think it's rather correct to say the British way of drinking tea with milk. But Sikkim being in a very unique, it has its own location-wise. We are located in the foothills of Himalaya. So we have a very small tea garden, which produces it's a black tea that we produce, that we drink, but it has its own unique flavor. It's black tea, but I would say it's a cross between a green and a black. It doesn't really taste like the bold Assam, but to give an example, maybe more of a Darjeeling black tea taste. So yeah, culturally, we drink a lot of tea. Tea is a way of life back home. We drink tea as I don't remember when I was not drinking tea. So we drink tea since a very young age. Tea is offered to any guest who comes over. That's the first thing you offer, not water. We offer tea to people who come to maybe like any worker, a plumber or construction worker, or tea is really, it runs in every strata of the society. And tea is also seen as a very polite way to welcome your guests or friends, or we always have gatherings and there is no instance where tea is not offered. So weddings, tea, we all start with, our life starts with tea, and it's really in the DNA of our each one of us. Yes.
That's so nice. Thank you. I always love your interactions. The interactions.
Oh, oh, thank you.
It's just a joy. Iris, hello. How are you? Iris is our.
Fine. I'm very happy to see you all. Hi.
Hi. What new wisdom do you bring us from Israel?
Yes, first of all, matcha become very trendy in Israel. You can find it in almost every coffee shop. As a ceremony, in a gathering, being together, it's something that actually I develop in my place, and people meeting the opportunity of being in a kind of gathering through the matcha ceremony, so they can find it in my place, and it become more and more. People are asking that more and more, you know, as a way of being in a Zen experience. They're coming, you know, in Israel, it's not a very pleasant time now, but people want to cheer up and, you know, feel that, okay, they can be happy with themselves, also finding a piece of happiness here and there. And they're coming to my place, and I really, through the tea ceremony, really make them a transformer of energy, you know. They coming, you know, some of them sad and with the bad feeling, and then through the tea ceremony, really they go out. They went out in a different energy, and for me, it's a kind of giveness, you know, to know that I can give this thing to people. So it become more and more. It was 2 times a week, and now it's 4 times a week, because the people are talking about it, and they sell to other. They say and about it to other people, and then people are want also to come. So I'm very happy that I can bring this kind of Japanese culture, Zen Buddhism experience in Tel Aviv, especially in this time that people are so need peaceful, inside peace. And I'm talking about it, that if everyone will be in a peaceful inside, it will go out and share to all other people and countries. I hope that this year will be a year of happy and peaceful for everybody. Maybe, you know, we start. But it's really a way of I feel that it's a self responsibility, you know, of each one to make himself to be in a peaceful. And I think this energy spread out. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your participation and your good wishes and all the good you're doing in your country. So now we have Yvonne. Hola, Yvonne. ¿Qué tal?
Hola.
Hemos estado hablando con Joel, ¿no? Me ha dicho que
Sí.
te iba a ayudar a traducir y tal. Ya sabes que soy española. Tenemos a la otra becaria, que se llama Alicia, que es medio japonesa y que también va a traducir a aquellos invitados que quieran hablar en japonés. O sea que si tú quieres hablar en español, tanto Joel como yo podemos traducirte para que no te quedes sin hablar, sin participar.
Ok.
Tienes muchas cosas que contarnos y tenemos ganas de
Sí,
escuchar.
muchas gracias. Bueno, yo soy de México. Actualmente trabajo en un restaurante japonés y la verdad es que en México, sí, la cultura del té es como muy poquita, pero cada vez hay como más importancia o más bien más como reconocimiento al mundo del té. Aquí pauso tantito o me sigo.
Voy a decirles simplemente lo que vamos a hacer, que te voy a traducir. So I was speaking with Yvonne. She comes from Mexico. She works at a Japanese restaurant, and she was acknowledging what we said before, that in Mexico, tea culture is reduced and a bit of a niche thing. And so, just like Alicia is going to translate some guests that want to speak or answer in Japanese, so I'm going to translate Yvonne so she can participate and share her experiences with us. Ya puedes continuar. Muchas gracias.
Ok. Bueno, aquí en México generalmente somos más como de una cultura de herbolaria mexicana. De hecho, somos mucho de tomar infusiones como de, el té para tal malestar, etcétera. Y generalmente aquí en México, lamentablemente, como tenemos esta como influencia con Estados Unidos, generalmente a todo le llamamos té. Y aquí como que cada vez es más como, hay como esa difusión por entender cuál es la diferencia entre una infusión y un té, obviamente, de que todo del té viene de la Camellia sinensis. Entonces, generalmente aquí el consumo es más como mezclas de té, como de té verde con esto, ¿no? Y siempre es como muy de propiedades medicinales. Yo que trabajé en una casa de té muy como antigua en la Ciudad de México y es justo donde conocí a esta Kiko, eh, vemos muchísimo esto de las mezclas de té. Sin embargo, como que últimamente son también más marcas las que quieren como introducir como tés muy importantes, tanto como por ejemplo de japoneses. Aquí en México no encuentro muchos japoneses, pero hay cada vez más como que quieren meter, es más importante, como que más, como que imponen más los tés de la India, de Darjeeling. Por ejemplo, mis favoritos son los taiwaneses, aparte de los japoneses. Por ejemplo, los oolongs, porque son súper, súper florales. Son como esos tés que tienen como muchísima expresión en aromas. O sea, como que un oolong siempre te puede sorprender. Aunque igual una vez probé un oolong japonés de Miyazaki y fue como, oh, ¿qué es eso? Pero sí, aquí la cultura del té apenas está empezando en México y generalmente es muy por influencia extranjera y porque aquí en la Ciudad de México hay mucha como una comunidad muy importante japonesa y como que cada vez es como de, ah, pues aquí tenemos postres con té. De hecho, ahí yo trabajo con una señora que se dedica a hacer postres, nerikiris y wagashis, y como que hace cada vez más eventos de té con wagashis, y es como, ah, cada vez hay más gente que le llama la atención esta parte del té.
Qué rico, suena muy rico. So Yvonne was telling me that because of the American influences coming from the US, there is a bit of confusion between the term tea and what they actually have in Mexico, that they have a rich culture of herbal infusions. So it's brewing the leaves with medical properties. But because of the US influence, they just call that tea. When it is not tea, tea comes from Camellia canensis. So it's the same in Spain. We also have infusiones, what we call infusions, and then tea is something else. I think that usually has the in, comes from Camellia, as we said. And yes, Yvonne was telling me about her preferences, how they are trying to introduce the external influences, are trying to introduce Indian tea, Japanese tea to Mexican cuisine. And so it's very interesting to know all that process of change. And speaking with our Mexican guests, I see myself and my culture reflected in that, because they are very similar. The Spanish way of understanding tea, infusions, coffee, they're really similar. They're more similar to Mexican than Japanese or the American way and the American ways. Pues muchas gracias, Ivonne. Yo me veo muy reflejada en lo que me cuentas de México, porque se parece mucho más a lo que tenemos en España que lo que me cuentan desde Japón. La verdad, que es mucho más infusiones, más café. Chocolate caliente ya no mucho, pero eso del té nos está llegando una cosa muy nueva aquí. Pues muchas gracias. So, going over to Japan, would you like to say something, guys?
Thank you, Eva, and then gracias, Ivan. So, 日本の方ですよね. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start our Q&A. Thank you so much for all the guests for explaining it and telling your guys' backstory about what brings you guys into like this sphere, and then like why you guys love the tea, and then how it really like influences from your background and then like your acts. And then yeah, we're gonna go into Q&A. So we're gonna start off with the people who's in Japan right now. So
田中さん、はい。じゃあ、ゆいかちゃん、はい、はい、ゆいかちゃん喋ります。顔出して、あ、それ音オンにしてね。音オンにするとハウリングする。こっち喋ったら
みんなこっち行くスタイル。
ここに来て、この横に来て、何喋るか決めてなかった。
Hello, this is Yuka
ゆか
san.
です。 どうしよう。でもいいよ。
メキシコでは抹茶はあんまりカフェとかであるって言ってましたよね、今。
多分それはイスラエルの方だと思う。
じゃあメキシコでは抹茶はあったりするんですか？
あるよ。
できるお家で飲んだりするかを聞いてください。
Okay, so
こと聞いてよ。
so Yuka-san was asking, so in Mexico, is there like any cafes or like in your personal time or any day in your lives do you consume or like is matcha popular in Mexico or is like the Japanese influence already there because like of the all the what is it called? なんでしたっけ？英語が出てこない。流行りって何て言うんでしたっけ？
Friend?
Is the matcha trend already in Mexico?
Ivonne, Angel, Alicia y bueno, y el equipo japonés nos preguntan desde Japón si el matcha es tendencia en México, si tenéis algún... creo que era. Alicia, were you asking if they have a time or if they have a coffee or a place? What were you asking?
Yeah, like a place. Is there like a cafe place or like any place in... Mhm.
Vale. Si tenéis café, si tenéis alguna cafetería, algún sitio donde vayáis a tomar matcha, es que ellos sí tienen supongo que sean su tea houses, su sitio donde vayan a tomar el té, teterías y tal. ¿Tenéis algún sitio así en México?
Si hay como casas de té o teterías que tengan matcha.
Sí, creo que eso preguntaban. Sí.
Sí, bueno, hay muy pocas en la Ciudad de México, o sea, realmente hay cafeterías que venden matcha, pero ya conociendo este producto, sabes que la mayoría están como más endulzados o con alterados con leche, con esta, que ya son como, ahora sí que rebajados, pero hay como casas que de té que ya tienen como un matcha de mejor calidad. Y por ejemplo, aquí en la Ciudad de México, este no es japonés, es coreano, hay uno que se llama Matcha Mio y se especializa en matcha, pero es todo coreano. También tiene tés japoneses, pero pues como la dueña es coreana, todo es súper de matcha. Los postres, las bebidas, hay bubble tea, hay matcha ceremonial, y ese sí lo preparan súper bien. También hay matchas lattes, o sea, esa es como una tienda especializada de matcha y es como un paraíso del matcha y es muy, muy bueno. Es como que la más popular en la Ciudad de México.
Okay, so Yvonne was telling me that yeah, they usually they can sell some products with matcha in the coffee shops there, but it's usually with a lot of milk or sugar. I got the feeling that it was lower quality, and then there is she was telling me about a specialized Korean coffee. Korean coffee shop that's all about matcha. It's very high quality matcha, and they make desserts with matcha. And so it was a delight for her. She really likes that. And curiously enough, it was the owner is Korean, and so everything is Korean. So very interesting. Very interesting.
Thank you.
And can I also add a little bit of the coffee culture?
Yeah.
Also, we have a good coffee culture because we are producers of coffee. Somos productores de café nosotros. Tenemos varios estados. We have many states produciendo café, producing coffee. Like one of the most important, los más importantes, it's Chiapas, Veracruz, Campeche, Chiapas, Veracruz, and there's really
Oaxaca.
And Oaxaca. The family of my girlfriend is the most are from Oaxaca. La familia de mi novia, la mayoría son de Oaxaca, and they have really good coffee. So we are close to the coffee culture. And as we said, we like the strong flavors. Nos gustan los sabores fuertes. But we like the regular coffee. We don't like the different coffees. We are really comfortable with the normal coffee we sell here. And Starbucks, for example, they sell our own coffee, or Mexican coffee, Starbucks. So, and the tea is how my girlfriend says, there's a lot of infusions, hay muchas infusiones, and we call it here like the chamomile infusion, mint infusion. And this is not, no, we said, no, we said pink chamomile, mint chamomile, té de canela, cinnamon tea. So we said tea to these herbal and spices infusions. Le decimos té a las infusiones herbales y florales y especiales. And something funny is like in the movie of Spider-Man, we said tea masala, like we say it twice. So for us, it's not like chai masala, it's tea masala.
Thank you, Joel. Yeah, just wanted to kind of like I'm gonna ask another person from Japan, but I just wanted to go quickly in between of what Ivone and then Joel just like talked about. I think it's really unique and really interesting to hear about like Western influence, of course, but like the cultural background about like how Mexico is like known for the spices, and then like how spices like also used in teas as well, and then like how also with Spain as well, but just like the cultural background with the British colonialism. I know that it could be a little bit different from like two countries for both of them, but it's really interesting to hear about like how the tea itself and then like the medicine tea is like really different, because at least in Japan there's not really any customs or any background about like if there is any like differences in teas unless it's like for health benefits. So just wanted to mention that really quick. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and turn it around once again to the Japanese guests over here.
Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Hideyuki Hashimoto. I can speak English a little bit, so I can tell you the directly to all of you. And when I focus on sales to expand the Japanese tea, do we need to introduce our culture and background to all of the country? Or how do you think of that?
Okay, so you were asking if to introduce other countries, other cultures to matcha, if you should also introduce your culture, your Japanese culture attached to matcha. Is that what you were saying? Is that your question?
Yeah, when I focus on matcha, because I used to live in the US, but the US tea is pretty sweet. Doesn't matter, whether they know the background of the matcha or not. So that's why I'm asking to all of you when I focus on the sales with the matcha. そうじゃないけど、こうってなんかその理解あるのかなと、理解するのとセールスってなんか違うのかな。
抹茶自体のことについてですよね。So just like give another additional background or information, but just like the way how sales mean is like is the matcha is being sold just because of the trend, or do people like not just like even in the States or like any other places, but even if it's like in Mexico, Spain, or in America and in general, or in Israel, do you guys think that a lot of people do know the meaning of matcha, or like how how it's like being, the way how it's being made, or like how people back in Japan drink, or like, do you think that people in your country are like actually interested, or is it just like, do people purchase it just in the solely purpose of like, it's because trending, or it's because a lot of people are like starting to drinking it?
Hi, can I have a little, I'll share my little input on this. I think in my opinion, being in the US, I guess there is a certain age majority of people who are inclined to lattes, matcha lattes, like with sugar, and maybe bubble teas, matcha bubble teas. Maybe more of teenagers, that age group, I feel, who like to enjoy the sweet concoctions, creamy matcha latte with, extra toppings and all of that. And I think there is another group who kind of has an idea about Camellia sinensis and how matcha is grown, how good quality matcha they drink matcha because of its taste, its bitter sweetness, however you describe it, and also for the goodness and health benefits. I think in the past few years there has been a rise and a hype with social media and marketing and all these cute little cafes of matcha, maybe Starbucks matcha latte, but for example, I drank matcha because it makes me feel better. I enjoy the taste. Of course, in the beginning, when I experienced matcha for the first time, it came across as a bit too bitter. But then when I dived into, how matcha is very special, I'm drinking black tea now from my hometown, but I have this wagashi with me. So I don't need wagashi every time I drink matcha, but I like to keep it in my shelf. And for me, matcha is daily. I have to drink at least 1 cup a day. I make a quick shot for my husband before he goes to work. So I think sorry, I didn't get the name for the question, the person who asked the question, sorry.
Alicia, the name of the person who asked the question?
Oh, Hide.
Yeah, thank you, Hide-san. Gomenasai. I couldn't hear properly. So I think people are being, more aware about what really matcha is, what it takes to really make matcha, because I feel people think matcha is just a grinded green tea, whereas it's not. Matcha, like we all know, it's shaded for at least 21 days or 2 weeks or more, and it goes through that. I think it goes through shading, also the way it's made in Ishiusu, if I'm not wrong, the stone mills, and all the the processing really infuses the goodness in matcha, which gives us all the good qualities like L-theanine. And I think once you know the good high ceremonial matcha's taste, I don't think you'll be able to enjoy the matcha that's low quality and added cream, and that's my personal opinion. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Said, once again. Yeah, and then I do also agree with the age consumption with the matcha, especially with the matcha latte, and then also the boba. tapioca. Yeah, and then also with like how I think also the influence with the social media with like how a lot of people mix with the milk or like what kind of types of milk that they mix it with. I think that a lot of people do care about like the mixtures of it, but just like the meaning itself, I think it really varies with the people because some people they really care about like the quality, but some people they really don't care about the quality, but still likes to
Right.
drink matcha. And then it's more of a it's starting to think it's starting to become like a status about what you drink honestly about like I think also with like how Mexico produces a lot of coffee and then like with also teas as well and then of course Japan is like known for the tea and then like a matcha itself but yeah not I think there's like a more of a competition when like do you drink matcha or do you drink coffee like the caffeinated level and everything like that. And then I think it's very interesting, And then
Right.
but I do agree that a lot of people nowadays do agree that matcha like really brings energy and then like how it creates like this zen and like Iris talks about it as well. But just like how it create this like put togetherness, yeah. But thank you once again for that insightful
Pleasure.
thank you.
もう一個ね、はい、スチ。あ、来たよ。
Okay, and Suji's going to give us some couple
Today's host.
he's the today's host today. So
うん。ちゃんとライトありますかね。はい、ここに立ってね。
何を質問したらいいんだろう。
だからさ、高く言うの。
言えますか？
ちゃんと映ってよ。
はい。どうも。Hello, I'm Suchi. So I can speak little English. So I speak Japanese. Sorry. And
シアちゃんが訳すの
はい
ね。
質問は、まあ、日本の中でお抹茶っていう、まあ、今日僕着ているこのお抹茶色なんですけれども、ありがとうございます。お抹茶でも
緑だね。
美味しいお抹茶と、やっぱりそうじゃないお抹茶っていうのがやはりあって、やっぱり同じお抹茶の世界の中に2つあります。で、やっぱりそれぞれの使い分けというか、使うシーンによって、それぞれを使い分けたりするんですけど、まあそういうなんですかね、使い分けというか、シーンによって、まあ、どういうふうに美味しさを伝えるのかみたいなところって、結構まあ、その時々の、まあ、主催する方々とか、そういう人の、まあ、割と手腕に、まあ、結構影響するのかなと思っていて、まあ、その辺の使い方ってどういうふうにしてるのか。日本の場合だと、例えばお稽古用は、まあ、ちょっと、本当にお稽古のために立てるためのお茶という形で使って、で、逆に、本当にもてなしたい方、本当に今日美味しいお茶をもてなしたい方には割といいお茶っていうのをまあ、セレクトするみたいな感じなんですが、その辺はなんか日本とどうなのかな、一緒なのかな、それともちょっとまあ若干やっぱり違いを持たせてるのかみたいなところはちょっと質問があります。
Okay, so what Suchi was saying, and then this is gonna be the question for all of y'all over here. But with matcha, he is wearing a green sweater today. But his own question itself that I wanted to ask was that in Japan, there's two kinds of blend. So it's either gonna be lighter or darker, and then depending on the occasion, like for example, for any acts or for example like the tea ceremonies or anything that has to do with bringing people together. Some people hi. And some people do use like a lighter matcha between it really depends on the person, but like for example like with a special occasion for let's say that a lot of important people are here and then you want to like welcome and then like gather people and then share this like really important time and then meeting together. Some people do choose this like really high quality matcha, but his main question was to ask you guys, do you guys think that there is this same thought behind it with your own experience or like your own country? Like, do you guys like choose any blends between like deciding what kind of occasions that you guys are in? Or is it kind of like really depending on the person that is like hosting or anything that has to do with your own personal choice?
Hello again. I'm back. Yes, I think it's a very good question. Sochi-san, konbanwa. I guess there is definitely, it matters when you have a special occasion or, you know, drinking tea daily and maybe you have some important guests. In terms of matcha especially, I think if the guest is new to matcha or if he knows matcha, either ways, I think it's great idea to serve your best matcha that's in your cupboard, or you know, it really for a beginner matcha, it helps with the image of matcha, I feel, you know, so that you can get the best qualities, the aftertaste of matcha. You know, when you there definitely is a difference when you use the cheaper version of matcha and the high ceremonial grade. And other question was, I think it's also a very good reason to pull out your. Sometimes we don't like to touch our expensive teas. You know, be it any tea, matcha or green tea or black tea. I think it stays in the shelf for so long, sometimes you forget about it, but it's a good way to share it with your guests. And you can always speak about, you know, where it comes from, you know, a little bit of background about your, you know, the tea you're serving today. I, for example, we moved into the US just recently. September was when we moved here from Dubai. And every time my friends come over, even if they are coffee drinker or wine, they always ask for a tea because that's what I've kind of styled my way of hosting. You know, it doesn't need to be a full-fledged ceremony. You know, it's a very modern way of just making matcha, whisking it on the table, you know, but you're still having a conversation. I don't want to intimidate, especially the coffee drinkers and, you know, people who who are not into tea. But I think it's a very fun way of kind of indirectly hinting that tea is kind of, you know, good, and introducing them to, yeah, maybe teas, matcha. I think that's all I have to say about Sochi-san's question.
Yeah, really interesting insight. Thank you so much once again, Said.
No worries.
To say something about it, I think it's very important also the attention that we give when we drink matcha, because it can be like coffee with milk in the morning, but it can be a kind of a ceremony with ourselves. And then it's very different if you know, see it and make the foam and drink it and, you know, make it as a self-ceremony. Even if it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes, different than just make matcha and, you know, drink it on the way at home. And I think it's very important, the meaning and the attention, if it's to make matcha for drink or to make matcha for a ceremony or ritual, even with ourselves. It's very important. Also, like coffee, we can drink coffee, you know, like walking in the house and drinking, or sitting 5 minutes next to the window and drink. And it's the same with matcha. I think the attention is very important. And maybe even with matcha, it's even more. Because the foam, you make it by yourself. It's very traditional. And it's also very important to make the foam with the bamboo, and not electricity, because if you do it by, but machine, make matcha by machine, you get inside a lot of noise. But if you make it traditionally, it's really a kind of a meditation. Yeah.
Sorry, can I add quickly? Just echoing to what Iris-san has to say about, I couldn't agree with you more, Irisa. I think having at least even like 5 minutes a day, especially in today's age where we are so glued to our phones, we are so busy, I think it's a great way to just put everything away. Just, starting from your making your own little space, be it a big property ceremony or just by yourself in the kitchen top, cleaning your area a little bit, picking what cup would you like to use, I think that itself, the beginning of the anticipation for tea rather today, I would like to drink matcha, there's a little excitement, and that itself, I feel the very beginning of that thought itself has already, it's like little moment of joy and a little state of, you start to think about tea and maybe forget about, the chaos for a little while. And since the time you turn on your kettle, you prepare, you bring out your bamboo whisk, you get your matcha out, everything, every little step that we take to make matcha, and maybe quietly listen to the gurgling sound of the tea boiling, and gently adding. I think it also helps me with the posture, even if I'm standing or sitting to make the tea, when you want to whisk, you want to be more, you want that nice foam. So it kind of helps you, it kind of tunes into your body and mind. And what a great way to practice tea drinking. So yeah, completely agree with Iris-san. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you once again, Iris-san said. Yeah, I love both of you guys' input. And then I once again, I cannot agree more than you guys mentioned about how making a tea and then the process of making a tea is really about, reset as well. Just even it really depends on if you drink the tea in the morning or lunch or evening. But yeah.
締めはこれを飲んで締めて、
はい
後にみんなで写真撮るからね。
あ、わかりま
飲ん
した。
で写真撮って。はい、終わり。
Okay, but yeah. Yeah. So Suchi's actually making matcha right now in front of us. For me, special. I feel special. But
どうしてでもいい。
ありがとうございます。いただきます。
みんな手パチパチして。いただきます。
Alethea-san, I could offer you some wagashi, but I'm sorry.
Thank you. That's really
Hi, dozo, dozo.
Thank you.
Thank you. いえいえ。
Ooh.
みんなで写真撮るって
写真撮りましょう。
じゃあみんな、おさっきのどっちかのカメラに
Okay, and as usual, we're gonna take a picture all together. Just as for
すべて、
閉めます。
いいよ
ギャラリー。
はい。
はい。
じゃあ撮ります。Okay. 3, 2, 1. たくさん撮りました。Okay. Thank you guys so much. Okay, so yes, thank you again, and thank you guys so much. Blank music. Thank you guys so much once again for joining us today, and then we do appreciate for you guys sharing this time, and then I know that it's really early for you guys. You're like in the middle of the day, but thank you once again for taking your time. We really appreciate it. And then we will also make a little video of this again, once again, and post it on our social media, and then also add the information to our monthly newsletter as well. So stay tuned for it. And then, yeah, once again, thank you so much. And then we hope to see you again once again soon. Mhm.
Bye.
Thank you so
Bye.
much and Happy New Year to all.
Happy
Goodbye.
New Year, guys. Thank you.
A
Thank you.
peaceful year.
よし、終わったぞ。